through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, we saved us that star-spangled banner yet and the
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Christos, Christos,
as we begin our 120th celebration of our independence, we humbly ask that you create in us, hold in us, to be your people. Help us that our independence may create in us an identity of being your faithful people. Never allow us to lose our faith in you. Create in us a people that values our families more than anything else, more than fame, more than worldly pleasures. Allow us to be a people of celebrations, mindful that celebration are always our expression of gratitude and recognition that everything comes from you, and that only through you that we become the people you created us to be. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and forever. Amen.
Amen.
USC. Not just kidding. I went to PWU. Yes.
Larry Eklong is more a modern hero. In 1965, he organized a Filipino farm workers strike in Delano, California. It is little known that the very first farm workers strike was organized and executed by Pinoy. My hope and my vision for our Filipino community is to keep our Filipino history alive. In the spirit of Kalayaan, we want to share our stories with your children, your grandchildren, and future generations. and the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles, we are honored by your presence and enjoy the evening. Mahal natin ang Pilipinas.
here in the United States. This is a video co-produced by Kalayaan, and it's a work in progress, but it will continue to hopefully become one of the greatest documentaries celebrating the Filipino. And so watch the big screens as we watch the musical documentary video entitled
Kayumanggi.
Lahing kayumanggi ang nasa puso ko, lahing dumadaloy sa aking dugo, na siyang pinagmulan ng kadakilaan, ang lahi kong nakagisnan, kakulay ng inang bayan.
The first Filipinos in the Americas were known as the Manila Men. There were Filipinos who were recruited to man ships in the galleon trade and established a settlement in St. Malo. They started the shrimping industry actually in New Orleans. So that's the very first known historical settlement of Filipinos in the United States.
In 1815, General Andrew Jackson led a small and poorly equipped force against 8,000 British troops in the Battle of New Orleans.
Filipino participation in the 1815 battle for New Orleans is not just an indication of the bravery of the Manila Men or the Filipinos, but also the very first time that illegal immigrants fought an American war.
Dakila kong lahi, higit sa kanino man.
In the Los Angeles area, historical records suggest that a Filipino was among the pobladores that came up from Mexico to start the settlement here in Los Angeles. His name is Antonio Rodriguez.
In 1906, 15 Ilocano Sacadas arrived in Hawaii to become the first Filipino migrants to the United States.
The Filipino Sacadas of 1906 were the very first OFW, Overseas Filipino Workers. The annual migration of Filipinos to work, not just in Hawaii now, but in the Great Fields in California, all the way up to the state of Washington. All of this started with those first Filipino Sacadas of 1906. And it expanded to several thousand a year. They helped build the agricultural industry of California. Who initiated and started that famous grape strike? Well, it was the Filipinos.
It wasn't delayed, no, where the story begun. A man who won't take abuses from any other man. They worked in the vineyard and they toiled all day. All they were asking for was just honest pay. In the country of plenty, they were underpaid. These farmers were treated a little more than a slave. One morning they gathered, said we can't live this way. And Larry was there to to show them the way. Larry, you made us see. Larry, you set us free.
In 1965, Larry Itleong co-founded the United Farm Workers along with the Mexican labor activist Cesar Chavez. It merged the Filipino and Mexican labor efforts to establish a coalition that would eventually lead to one of the most powerful labor union forces in the U.S. history.
Cesar Chavez went on to gain national and international acclaim. Larry Itleong was largely ignored and forgotten.
Larry, you made us see. Larry, you set us free.
The Larry Itleong Day. Larry Itleong is the famous farm labor leader who helped the farm workers, Filipinos and Mexicans, to fight the injustices and achieve equality. Our city is the first in the nation to give its employees a paid day off in the honor of Larry Itleong.
Larry, you made us see. Larry, you set us free.
Hi, I'm Ben DiTroso, and I want to talk to you about Filipinos in Hollywood. So the first stories of Filipinos that I'm aware of is when they first arrived here as immigrants, where they had jobs as cooks, busboys, helpers. And so the idea of being glamorous here in Hollywood just never existed back then. So fast forward today, 2018, I think we have come such a long way. We emerged from unknown immigrants to really named stars. Let me name them: Bruno Mars, Tia Carrera, Apple Diap, Lou Diamond Phillips, and many, many more. So the question as to us making in Hollywood, absolutely, we have made it in Hollywood. Hollywood is just not about stars that I just mentioned. It's composed of a totality of several different components, making of what Hollywood is, all the glamour and the glitz of what the name is all about. What are these components? Well, you have the studios, you have the office, you have the media, you have the marketing, you have the IT people, all working in tandem in order to what make Hollywood is. So the idea, where are all the Filipinos in Hollywood? Well, you have to look for them. I am sure, I'm very confident there are many more Filipinos out there in middle to upper management we still have yet to find.
Well, Filipinos, they don't care whether they're rich or poor. They will take care of them regardless. They will take care of them whether they're old or young. They will take care of them whether they are in the society or below society. They'll take care of their welfare patients or their Medicaid patients.
Great nurses, they're hard workers, and they are very easy to work with. Very adaptive, very intuitive to patient needs. In general, they're very good docs. They provide high quality care, and we would love to have the Filipino doctors in this hospital. The nationality overall, they're very kind people.
Regardless of the patient's capability financially, we accept them, we treat them as a human being. And that transcends over from our faith in Christianity. We Filipinos are very compassionate.
Itinatagi sa buong mundo, mula pa sa matan hanggang kasalukuyan, sa lahi kong tinataglay, buhay kong may iaalay.
We have contributed in America in many ways, especially who serve in the military. We have Lieutenant General Soriano.
Lieutenant General Edward Soriano is the first high-ranking Filipino-American officer to have served in the United States military.
In the field of science, we have Engineer Eduardo San Juan.
The moon rover was an invention by Filipino engineer Eduardo San Juan.
In the field of politics, we are proud to have a Filipino first governor of the state of Hawaii, Governor Cayetano.
Benjamin Cayetano is the first Filipino-American to serve as a state governor in the United States.
Presently, we have here in Cerritos, Mayor Pulido.
Mayor Mark E. Pulido. He became the mayor of Cerritos in 2018.
And I am proud to tell the Filipino people that we have constructed Rizal Monument, and that is the biggest and tallest monument in the entire western part of the United States. It is through the help of Santarina and others that we were able to put up the Rizal Monument. The greatest drawback in the character of the Filipino, and it is well known, is this crab mentality. They're fighting each other. We do not like one to rise higher than the other, and that is what is the setback to the Filipino culture and character. We have to remove this from the character of the Filipino. If we are hospitable to a stranger, to a neighbor, we must remain to be not only hospitable, but have to be not only friendly, but to be loving each other. We must love each other.
Let us love one another, to care for each other, to help one another, to think of the other, to hold on together and pray for each other. Let's love one another right now.
Let us love one another, to care for each other, to help one another, to think of the other, to hold on together and pray for each other. Let's love one another right now.
Let us love one another. There is nothing that love can change.
Our culture makes us more loving, more sharing, more welcoming, and more praying. If we take away even one of these virtues from our lives, it's so hard to live as a true Filipino. Because our culture is what gives our lives a purpose, a direction, and a meaning. Because our culture is really about loving others. And love, that's what will lift us up.
Let us love one another, to care for each other, to help one another, to think of the other, to hold on together and pray
for each other. Let's love one another right now. Let us love one another. Around the world together. The love for each other. Let's see the world together. Let it grow, let it grow, let it grow to feel. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow to hold on together and pray for each other. Let's love one another right now. To hold on together and pray for each other. Let's love one another.